Alright, welcome to Cryo Archive. This is a brief tutorial of the schematic capture of DipTrace. We're going to create a bipolar LED driver, and in doing so I'll demonstrate some of the features of the program itself. Alright, so up here we have the libraries list. You can scroll through it with these buttons or click this one and you can kind of go a little bit faster through it all. What we're going to start off with is getting our voltage source and ground. So we're going to do 12 volts. It's actually a 9 volt source, but we can change that here in a sec. And remember, when you want to edit these, you got to go into the default mode and double click type 9 volts. Alright, if you want to rotate these, all it takes is a space bar or Control R, or you can right click and rotate if you like the long way. Alright. Next we need to get the 555 chip. But before doing so, I'll go over these. Discrete is going to be your through-hole components. Discrete schematic is not going to have any type of pads. It's just going to be part of the schematic and not the actual PCB layout. And the discrete SMD is obviously your SMDs for resistors, inductors, and capacitors. So, moving on, we're going to go to our ST Micro, where we have our 555 chip. Again, you can to navigate through the certain components, you can actually scroll down and it'll scroll through them, or using that, or if you know the name of your component, which the NE55, the SMD, and the N is the through hole. We're looking for the through hole. Okay. Okay, what I like to do is actually kind of get all my components out there and kind of lay them out before I start connecting the dots. So we need some LEDs, resistors, and capacitors. So I'll go back to our discrete, scroll down, through-hole LEDs, and you can actually rotate it before laying it down using the space bar as well. Okay, with these LEDs, I need a green and a red LED for the blinking type. So what you can do is establish green in the value. It won't display right away, but you can change your markings. Marking 1 is going to be the top marking, which is D1. That's the default. Marking 2 is by default going to be invisible, and so we can set that to the value and it'll show green. And then we can do the same for our red and show that right below it as well. Okay. I need to spread these out real quick. Hold on. Okay. Now I'm going to need 3 resistors, so just normal. And then we can change the value of those the same way we did the the LEDs. I need a 220 ohm resistor and 2 of them. And display those below them as well. Generally, you don't have to go into default mode all the time. You can actually click on the far right side. If you go towards this little pin area, that's when you start adding the wire. But we won't get into that in for a sec. So just one sec. All right, get our capacitor in there. All right, now we can start connecting the dots. All right, connect the dots. Like I said earlier, there's several methods of doing this. One of which is mousing over the pin. When it turns red, click on it, and you're automatically in wire mode, and you can start connecting them. And it should automatically. Now, if you need to connect these diodes together, you can either do it this way, connect it that way. Control Z if you make a mistake, or click on the wire itself where you want it and slide it. You can go back into default mode and you can adjust where the wire sits. So if you like the symmetrical appeal, then that's the way to do it. If you want to get an angle, all you have to do is you can click and you can start going down rather than waiting for the automatic to go through and make the adjustment for you. And one other thing you want to take note of is when you are attaching these, if you have the VCC source, the voltage source, all of these are running on a net with wire names. So if you want to, for better organization, just right click on the part, the wire, click net name, and this is our VCC, so it'll make sure everything's on the right right net. Ground. If you want to change the size of the grid, all you have to go to is View, Grid Size, and you can make the adjustment here, or do a custom size if you need it. Alright, well, I'm going to finish this off real quick. Alright, here's the completed circuit. Just for your knowledge, a couple things to go over. There are a couple pins that aren't being used, so what you need to do is just right click on them and not connected. That will indicate that these are unused. Another thing is you'll notice the text up here that's added using the drawing bar up here. You can place text, type it in. Make sure you press enter when you're done and not just click off of it, because it'll disappear and you'll have to do it over again. Other than that, that's all I have for this tutorial. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.